Yeah. Ron, you're down 15 in two polls, the Chamber poll, the Fox News poll. This $12 million ad buy. What is that and the Trump endorsement going to do in terms of your fortunes going forward?
Well, look, I appreciate that people that really spent a lot of money in April and May, which my opponents have attacking me and obviously doing that. We have the liftoff from the president. We're going to have this debate. You're going to see a very aggressive campaign when it matters and when people are actually paying attention. And I think that, a couple weeks from now, you're going to see a dramatically different thing. But at the end of the day, I've been building for the moment. I've not been out wasting money or doing anything like that. And that was the deliberate strategy. And I think it's going to pay off.
And I would add, for the last few months, Adam Putnam's been going up and down the court uncontested, scoring layups. Let's see how he does when we start guarding him.
Okay, Putnam's saying you're a job hopper. 3 jobs in 3 years. You ran for Senate, backed out of that, ran for the House again, but everybody saw as a placeholder.
This is Adam Putnam has been running for office since he was 22. He has never had a career outside of politics. He inherited his money, born on third base. He thinks he hit a triple. I'm somebody who was a blue-collar kid. I started making $6 an hour. I worked myself. I got nothing handed to me. I had one of the best resumes in the country when I came out of school. Could have made a lot of money. Instead, I volunteered to serve in the military and in the Navy, deploy to Iraq, serve in Guantanamo, serve at some of our bases here in Florida. So this guy is the consummate career politician, and he's exactly what's wrong with modern politics.
So this official Trump endorsement, what does this mean for your campaign?
Well, look, Trump has been in my corner, and people are like, oh, well, he hasn't done anything yet. And it's true. He tweeted originally before I even got in the race, which is unprecedented. And so this is like, clear as can be. There it is. He's for me. And I think voters need to know that you have a guy like me who's an Iraq veteran, who has a proven conservative record, and is endorsed by President Donald Trump. Whereas Adam is somebody who's a career insider, transactional Republican who has been opposed to Donald Trump and has never done anything outside of politics. I think that's a great contrast, and let the voters make their choice.
And do you feel like you really know all of the nooks and crannies of the state, having spent so much time physically in D.C.?
I was born and raised in Florida. I grew up in Pinellas County. Adam says he knows so much. He's never spent a day in uniform. He's not served in Mayport and Jax and Boca Chica and places like that. And the decisions he's made, if you know so much about Florida, Matt pointed it out. Why are you opposing E-Verify? Floridians want a legal workforce. They don't want illegal immigration. And so the lack of judgment time and time again shows me that he really doesn't understand what taxpayers and voters want. This is more, he knows Florida from the perspective of a career politician and what the power brokers in Tallahassee want, not what the actual voters want.
Okay, and this one, you said the other day that going after Comey helps you in the race. How so?
When did I say that?
It's a Fox News question. They sent it to me. I don't know, to be honest with you.
Well, I just think that when you're standing for the right things and you're showing leadership, so for example, when Trump fired Comey, I came out immediately. I was not waiting for the tea leaves. I was not waiting for anything like that. I knew it was the right decision. I knew there'd be a lot of blowback from the DC press corps, but I didn't care. I knew it was the right thing, so I backed him immediately. Adam Putnam did not do that. He questioned the decision and urged Comey testify against President Trump. Really? Comey testifying against Trump? The guy that leaked information? The guy that wasn't honest with the Congress? Give me a break.
And having been on Fox News so much, so frequently, do you think that gives you the name recognition, but do you think it is enough to take the state?
Of course it's not enough just on its own. You have to run a campaign. You have to reinforce your message in a variety of ways. We're going to be doing that. And I think that, people that see me on Fox, a lot of them don't even know I'm running for governor. A lot of them don't know I'm a veteran. A lot of them, well, now they may know that Trump has endorsed me, but they didn't necessarily know Trump was a supporter of mine. We're going to be reminding everybody of that over and over again, and I think that the debate that Fox is going to do is a great opportunity. I think that's going to be the first time when people really start to pay attention to the race, and we're going to be there, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Putnam's polling a lot of endorsements to Florida Chamber, to Florida Family Action Group, lots of incumbent politicians. Are endorsements going to matter in this race?
Well,
We can think of a couple that will.
I think Matt would agree with me that You know, the big guy at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue sure matters. You know, this group or that group. I mean, some of the groups that are supporting him oppose E-Verify, you know, have been for cheap labor and open borders. And so some of those endorsements, I don't know how great they are. I can tell you that the voters of Florida, when they know that President Trump, he has not gotten involved in very many races. I mean, particularly in primaries where there's not an incumbent. I think I'm probably the only race where he really got involved early, and I think that shows he's doing that because he sees me as a leader who's going to be good for Florida. And so I think he's the 800-pound gorilla. But Matt, obviously, is a great guy to have, is very articulate. People know him throughout the state now, and we're going to be rolling out some other really good endorsements very soon. So stay tuned on that. But look, Adam is the toast of Tallahassee, the insider class, the lobbying. There's no doubt about it. On Duval Street, he will beat me in the vote, but I think the ones that the insiders want usually aren't the ones the voters want. And if you want proof of that, all of those folks in Tallahassee opposed Governor Scott in 2010. To a man, they opposed him, and yet look how good of a job Governor Scott has done.
Do you expect Scott to endorse?
I don't think so, because I think he's got his own race. But you know, I'm somebody that's been supportive of Governor Scott since the beginning.
Which impact or which aspect of the ongoing immigration debate that we're seeing right now do you think impacts Florida the most?
Well, I think that Matt mentioned it. I mean, you know, we have a need for E-Verify in Florida. It's something that they would have passed it in the House had the state Senate passed it. They were very close in the state Senate. I know Putnam was really probably the decisive factor of lobbying against it and killing it. And if you had E-Verify in place right now, you have almost no incentive to come to Florida illegally. You'd have even higher wages for Americans. And so I think that aspect is key. And then I also think this idea of sanctuary cities or the Democrats not wanting to cooperate. If someone commits a crime and they're here illegally, man, you've got to cooperate with federal authorities so those people can be returned to their country. They can't be released back into Florida's communities and threaten our safety.
With communities in South Florida, municipalities in South Florida committing a lot of funds towards the rising sea levels and making sure that their cities are to stay safe in the future, how, as governor, would you address the situation for the entire state? Well,
I think that mitigating the damage that could be caused. I mean, I've been down in Dade County where you kind of go out in the morning. I mean, there will be 6 inches of water in the streets. So you mitigate that. And the Democrats will say they can prevent the sea levels from rising by taxing and regulating. Nonsense. You can't do that at Tallahassee. We have to deal with what's happening, be smart about it, but obviously flood mitigation and then renourishing our beaches. You know, as the congressman and in this area, we did do projects with Flagler Beach. We teed up Volano Beach, and I know Ponte Vedra is going to need that. So that's just something that I think with a coastal state, you've got to be willing to do. And I'll be willing to do it as governor, but then also having a good relationship with the White House where a lot of these projects are determined at the Office of Management and Budget. I call Donald Trump, I call Mick Mulvaney, say, hey, Florida needs this, let's accelerate it. I have a great chance of getting that done. The Democrats, I mean, if you think he should be impeached, are you going to be able to get projects for Florida? No way.
All right, thanks.
Amendment 1, Amendment 2,
Thanks,
real
guys.
quick.
That's gonna be it.
Yep.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. See ya.